Bori's failed raid upon Zabad-Gothel has brought the wrath of the orcs down upon the dwarves. The encampment at the Deep Way faces a terrible onslaught from Marzog's horde. Are the Longbeards strong enough to face the challenge?
Welcome to Pineleaf Plays the Rune-keeper. And today we are doing the Battle of the Deep Way. In response to the counterattacks being made by Marzog after our little raid on his territory.
This needs doing.
The barricades are set, and my dwarves stand ready. All that must be done now is to wait for the orcs to come. I would ask that you follow the ebb and flow of the battle and aid where you are needed most. Also, do not forget to unfurl the banners of Khazad-dûm. They can help stir the hearts of all free peoples to great deeds and may even help turn the tide of battle. However, do not use them lightly, as once unfurled, a banner's strength is spent. Prepare yourself, as I fear it won't be long now. Yes, yes, that's what you just told me. Very well, and now we have to wait for announcement of the first assault. They'll either come from the north or from the south. And it looks like it's the north this time. There will be 5 assaults, 2 from the north, 2 from the south, and 1 from the center. Though the north and south ones would be at random times, the center ones will always be the 5th assault. And time to spend the red. Usually I save some of these for later, but if I've got a duplicate, since I can only use one at a time, well, technically I could use more than one at a time, but there's no use of using more than one at a time. You can only carry one of a single type at a time. Now you can use, they do stack, different ones stack, but 2 of the same ones don't stack with each other. Now the boss fight is where I like to save many of them for, simply because the boss likes to put this nasty debuff on people and you use the banners to counteract that. Alright, now let's see what they're up to. So we're doing this for the epic storyline, where this is the first of 3 skirmishes that are run in the epic storyline, and you'll be seeing the other 2 in the next 2 episodes. So it's fairly straightforward episodes that I am used to doing, since if you follow my channel you know how much I play various skirmishes and that I've done this on enough occasions. So I have other episodes that pertain to this particular skirmish. Alright, there we go. And now that's 3. There's 3 attacks, 3 waves on the north side. So after 3 waves, the 4th wave comes back to the center. And that's the way each of the assaults go. 3 at the direction of the assault and 1 towards the center. I suppose they have the one in the center so that you get back into a central location before the next assault. Because if the next assault came while... For example, if I'm sitting there up way at the north and the next assault was to the south, I'd have a pretty long way in order to get there to the south when they announced it. So this pretty much forces you. Oh yeah, this one. I'm not particularly fond of this. I'm not particularly fond of this encounter because of all these bugs you've got to kill. And by the time you kill all the bugs, the next assault has started. And of course, that's when the queen comes up. Now, what I sometimes do is I try to run to the next area, which is the north again. So it's going to be 2 north and 2 south because, as I said, you have 2 to the north, 2 to the south, but the order which they are is random. Alright, so I'm going to be a little bit late, but the defender can hold off for a few seconds. It's not like I'm doing a raid mode. And if you're doing a raid mode, the raid would either have pulled the queen to the location, or would have sent half the raid to the next location to fend off while the rest take care of the queen. So this will follow the same pattern as the previous one. And I won't be using any of the banners here. Now in a raid, you're more likely to want to use some of the banners at various times. Yes, remember, I've got that now. I am so slow at using that thing. Well, what's the induction time on that? It doesn't give an induction time, but it feels like there's a long induction time on it. And it looks like my healing stone spends more time as a tank than as a healing stone, meaning that the goblins see it, they attack it, take some pressure off of me and the NPCs. But it doesn't give me much in the way of healing. But it probably prevents me from taking more damage than it would have healed if it was stayed up during the entire time. So I guess it's not a major problem if it keeps me from being hit. Alright, back to the center. Now you do have enough time from once they do it, because if I lose count or something like that, sometimes I have to do a quick rush to the center because I say, oh yeah, that was the third one. So yes, you do have enough time. It's just that if you get there nice and comfortably, you can get all nice and prepared. Alright, and there we go. And temperature begins to rise beyond the south barricade as Burntail wanders into from the waterworks. Now, normally I would not head straight down here, but we know that both the next two assaults are going to be from the south, since the first two were from the north, so I will come here early, and I might as well start fighting Burntail. That way I can have Burntail taken care of before the opponents arrive. Now I could have just have waited before taking those banners, since I'm not planning on using any of them unless things get really, really dodgy. But I'm running this at tier 1 since I'm doing it for the epic. I don't know how squishy my Rune-keeper is going to be. And Burntail's it. So that's both of the encounters. So the encounters are at least done. Now, this is not going to be one of those characters that's going to try to do all of the encounters. I have a different Rune-keeper that's working on that. My main goal here is to complete the skirmish and continue with the epic storyline for this particular series. Different characters I have different things that I try to do with them. Alright, let's see. Is that a trapper? Okay. I wasn't sure whether that was a trapper, trapper, a shepherd. I know, you'd think I'd tell the difference between a goblin and pale folk, right? Yeah, right. Now, of course, I can still use my stones. Now, what are these now? Let's see. Minor burn token. Okay, that seems to be a... Alright. minor token of burning and a minor token of the Alliance. That can be useful. No, I do often wind up not using those things when I'm running in skirmishes unless you really need them in boss fights or in the like. In solos, at tier 1 at least, you rarely need them. So I sometimes forget it unless I'm in a group and doing a boss fight and of course see someone else plop down one and I remember, oh yeah, I've got these things. So I recommend using these before the boss fight for this particular skirmish. And that's simply because there's a green circle effect that's put out by the boss. And you don't want to be wondering, oh, is that my green circle or the boss's? Yes, I know. The boss's green circle is purple. And yours are either red or green. So unless... they'd have to be colorblind in order not... say if you're color... so unless you're either colorblind or have a bad computer system on the coloration, you should be able to see it without any trouble. But there are enough people who are colorblind, and sometimes when you're in a hurry, you say, "Now, what is what?" One can forget. Alright, so therefore, and especially if the two start stacking over each other, if you stack one of yours on top of the boss's, you wind up with a white circles. And depending on that, you plop it right down, the boss puts down right on top of yours. You're going to pretty much have wasted the whole thing, but sometimes I wind up doing it during the boss fight anyway. Alright. Token of the Alliance. Yeah, alright. Burning. As you can see, I'm not exactly rushing to use one right now, but they're really short time, so you'd want to use it with the Lieutenant. So if there's a Lieutenant you have trouble with, then you might want to use it for those. And then save the Moria skirmish ones for later. Now, that's the entire point there, is that these colored ones, they're only used in Moria skirmishes. Of course, the white ones are the usual ones you get from encounters. Alright, here we go. I really wish I could get those orders right. I've been going around and just using those right on top of each other is probably not the best of plans. Let's see if I could build up something. Yeah, like that. Someday I'll learn how to play this class. And that was... yeah, okay. Yeah, that was... yeah, that's right. That was the one with the... with the troll, with the wood troll. Yeah, so now... let's take care of these goblins! Goblins down! Goblins down! We don't like goblins, right? Now, if you're a race with orc or goblin deeds, then it helps with that. Of course, most races have goblin slayer deeds at least, but at least hobbits and dwarves and elves. Men of breed, or at least the humans, don't seem to have... seem to be the outliers on that particular set. Alright, there we go. See, now, nice and alive. Now, that means the next assault is going to be from the center. Now, it's really annoying when you have someone like Burntail pop up. After the fourth assault, and then you have to worry about going there, take out Burntail, then come back here after the center assault has started. And that's the most inconvenient way of handling it. Now, you can go back and do it at the end of the skirmish, of course, as I've noted in other times. It will not give you credit for the deed if you do it after the skirmish is over. So therefore, if possible, you'd like to do it beforehand, at least until you've at least you and anyone else you're skirmishing with has done it for the deed. Alright, there we go. Hello there. Now, this seems to be taking a little bit longer than it normally does for me, probably because of the level I'm doing it or something. Or that I'm not used to doing it with this class. I'm not sure which is the reason. But I think when I'm with my level 100 characters, I'm able to do it a little bit faster than this. Of course, I'm not trying to talk all the way through when I'm usually doing it with another character. Ooh. Oh, okay. Well. There we go. Now keep me alive. And we'll take care of him, and good. It lasted on through that particular round. Plenty of... Oh yeah! The stone! Use the stone! Use the stone! Yes, that's it. You remember what the stone is? This thing that I went through so much trouble to get? And finally, oh, Daywalker! Now, you remember talking about a good time to use one of these things? This is a good time. Daywalker Berserker. Give that thing as much of a penalty as you can. Oh, actually, knocking it out won't be a bad idea either. Alright, there we go. Yeah, much better. I should use the other stone on occasion also. Just because I've got the healing stone doesn't mean I can't use the lightning stone also. Double dipping a little bit. Yeah. Alright, now for the boss fight. Where is the boss? Where's the boss? Hello there. Oh yeah. I'm telling you all that thing about 5 in a row like that. Saving them for the boss fight, then I might as well deploy them. Yes, that's an excellent idea. Now these flags last longer and are more powerful than the ones that you get from the encounters, which I always thought was rather strange. Stay out of the purple one, by the way, because the purple one's a debuff put on by the boss, which causes you to lose any abilities that you gain from banners. So obviously, if I went through all the trouble, laying the banners, I might as well use them. It was a glorious battle, Pine Stone, one that shall be long remembered. The orcs thought that they could use trickery to gain the upper hand, but they could not stand in the face of our combined might. Now let us finish our business here, and see what else we can do to push back those foul orcs. And that concludes the Battle of the Deep Way. Next time we'll run the Battle of the Way of Smiths.